Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining our channel. Today I would like to talk about respecting our parents. I learned from the book Honor Them, Revere Them, written by Rabbi Zachariah Shimon Wallerstein, page 17, lesson 6. It touched me so much that I would love to share with you. Learning from our parents. Rabbi Zachariah Shimon Wallerstein comments, when the relationship between parent and child is strong, there is much that the child can gain. I don't talk during davening, praying. It's not because I learned in Sepharim books about the seriousness of the sin. It's because until I got married, I sat next to my father in shul, synagogue, temple, as per his request. And he never got involved in conversation. Not one word during davening, during praying. I observed the stellar way in which my father cared for his mother. His father had died many years before. His kibbutz aim made a tremendous impression on me. He treated his mother like a princess. That is why it never happened that my parents would return from Eretz Israel and their 3 children, my brother, sister, and me, would not be at the airport to welcome them home. It made no difference if the plane arrived at 5 a.m. or 11 p.m. We were there. How sad that today some give away this zechus to Uber. When your parents return from a flight, be there to greet them. Seize the opportunity. As Rav Gamliel Rabinowitz notes, parents don't live forever. Honor them today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Call them. Find out what they need. Visit them on Erev Shabbos. Rabbi Wallerstein says, my father passed away 19 years ago before he wrote this book. He would ask me, come to Muncie and learn with me for an hour once a week. I thought to myself, someday I will do it. My father was 67 and in perfect shape. He played paddleball and racquetball. I thought he would live at least until 95. He died at 67. The biggest pain in my heart, says Rabbi Wallerstein, is that I never did go to learn with him once a week as he requested. Learn from my mistake. Visit your parents regularly. Do it now. Don't wait until later. You know, the mitzvah, the commandment of honoring parents was given to us by our Creator, and it was on one of the first of the 2 tablets. Why? Because usually on the first tablet, everything between us and our Creator. But how come the honoring of the parents also on the same one? Because if the person cannot respect his parents, he will not be able to respect God. He will not be able to respect our Creator and have a relationship with Him. It's crucial that we work on our relationship and every effort we are able to do to respect our parents. If your parent tells you something and you don't quite agree with him or her, don't answer back. Don't correct them. If you need to correct them, you have to do it in the most soft-spoken, humble, respectful tone of voice and proper choice of words. Because by mistake, you should not offend or hurt your parents. They gave you life. In this world, there were 2 partners in order for you to come to this world. That is your mother, your father, and your and the Creator. So you know what? Don't think that God makes mistakes. God does not make any mistakes. If that particular father and that particular mother God chose for you to be your parents, it means only through them would you be able to come to this world, and only through them would you be able to fulfill what you need to fulfill and accomplish only through them. Because without them, you wouldn't be able to do it. It says every person is born in this world, is born in such a precise moment, in the precise timing, in the precise country and place, and the precise family and the precise parents. That if we only knew that how much thought went into God's plan for us to come to this world and to become who we are, we'd appreciate and we'd understand. We wouldn't say, I wish I had his father, or I wish I had her mother. No, you got exactly the father you need, and you got exactly the mother you need. And that's it. Cherish them, respect them. And remember, when you have your own kids, your kids are watching your behavior. When they see how you speak to your parents, how you attend to their basic needs, would it be the food, would it be to pay their rent, would it be to pay for their expenses, would it be to take them to doctor's appointments, would it be to do their shopping, do their laundry, whatever it may be. I know it's hard. It says it's one of the hardest mitzvahs, one of the hardest commandments that there is in the Torah, in between us and God, is honoring one's parents, and that is and that is the one that gives us long life. It says that the reward for honoring one's parents is long life. Don't underestimate it, and take it with as insurance for long life. You know how much money people pay to get insurance? They go to doctors. They want to make sure that their labs are good, and they go to gym. They want to make sure that they live long. Nothing is wrong with that. No problem. But the Torah tells us that if we respect our parents, we are guaranteed long life. Now I'm going to tell you a story, and we're going to end off with this. There was one yeshiva bacher, student. He was 20-year-old. It was in Israel. And he was in yeshiva. And he, into his yeshiva comes Chavetz Chaim. And they said, oh my goodness, I believe it was in Israel. So so the entire yeshiva is being told that, oh, tonight we're gonna go and hear the speech of the very famous Chavetz Chaim in our nearby shul, not far. And this student, the 20-year-old, he called his father, and his father said, I do not allow you to go to this place because I don't feel it's safe for you to go there. You stay in yeshiva. And he didn't understand why his father was concerned. And he listened. He said, okay. And he felt bad because he was the only one who stayed alone in the yeshiva. And the entire yeshiva went to hear the speech of Chavetz Chaim. After the speech was over, about 1 hour into after the speech, they came back to yeshiva, and his friends came over to me, and they said to him, you have no idea what you missed. You have no idea what kind of speech it was. Unbelievable. And he really, really felt that he missed out. So when he came back home to his father, after he completed his study, and he told him about this incident, his father said, listen to me carefully. He takes a piece of paper and he writes down a note, and he says to him, I want you to keep this note in your pocket and let this be your insurance that what you did by listening to your father, you did the right thing. And that is, and he wrote his name, give you a blessing that in the merit that you listened to your father, that you didn't go to that event where a famous Chafetz Chaim was speaking, because I was worried as a father, because you were not so tall. And I was afraid that there will be a lot of people, there will be a lot of commotion. They could trample on you and you could get hurt. That was the thought behind my instruction as a parent, for you not to go. And because you listened, and because you did not go and you stayed, and you were the only one who stayed back in yeshiva, I give you a blessing that in the merit of listening to your father, that you should live long life and you should be protected. And that's the blessing that is written in our Holy Torah, and that you should be blessed with it. And he signed, and he dated, and he gave it to his son, and he said, I want you to carry it in your pocket and let it be a reminder for you. Every time you feel bad, open this note, read it, and say, okay, I did what my father wanted. I did what my heavenly father wanted. That's it. Years go by. This man, who was 20-year-old back then, became already 95 years old. And his 23-year-old grandson comes to him and he says, Grandpa, there is one of your classmates from back when you were 20-year-old and you studied in yeshiva. He unfortunately passed away. We got the news. And today is Levaya. Today is the funeral. I would like to assist you, to walk with you to that place. And the grandfather appreciated the support and help that the grandson offered. He went with him, of course. And then he said to him, I just want to tell you. He takes out this little note, and it was all yellow already. And he says, you see this note? This is the note that my father wrote for me when I was 20 years old. And he said what happened, that there was a big rabbi, he came to speak, and my father said not to go. I felt really bad, I really wanted to hear him. And I respected my father, and I stayed back. He says, today, at this funeral, this was the last classmate from my yeshiva, from back when I was 20 years old. This is the last classmate who was still alive. So the grandson was blown away by the fact that when we listen, so which means that this grandfather, 95-year-old, he was technically the last one from his class, because the one that they just went for the funeral of, he was one before the grandfather. He says this was the last one who was still alive. You understand? So when we listen to our parents, we sometimes don't understand, what do they want from us? Why do I have to stay back in yeshiva when such a big Rav came to speak? But trust me, when we listen and we do what they want from us, at the end, there is always a reward that is beyond our imagination. Isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth it? So please, take upon yourself today, after listening to this small video, that you will be a little bit more careful with this commandment. Just a little bit. Tiny bit. I know it's hard, but you will try. And Bezrat Hashem, you'll have a siyata d'shmaya. You'll have a heavenly assistance, and you will be able to achieve it, because you're doing what God wants. Thank you for joining and tuning in. Please stay with us, and please consider to subscribe. And until the next time, bye now.